It is Mary Harmon, and cannot believe that we are already halfway through 2023. I just caught myself writing in a offer, I guess it was Monday, and I wrote 2022, and needless to say, I got corrected, so I can't believe it's already mid-year, but wanted to share with y'all some incredible stats about what this market is looking like. I'm sure you've seen the news, and while the news is not always wrong, they are not super local, so I wanted to give you some information just not only about the stats, but also my opinion about what we are seeing, what is going on. The first thing I can say is interest rates are what they are. They are still technically historically low, but they are not in the 3s and 4s anymore. I have seen clients in the last few weeks get anywhere from 6.5% to 8%. They're not great, but they are. I will say because of that, we are able to see more creativity getting offered and put up. So we may start seeing some more buy downs. We may start seeing more seller paid closing costs. We may see some more assumable mortgages. So we are able to take the information of interest rates and really kind of create a scenario that works for everybody. You know, interest rates are still something that can be written off in your taxes as well. So that is something to keep in mind. Another thing that we are seeing is more seasonality. So I find myself telling Jay, you know, we're just not getting any showings this week. My phone isn't ringing. You know, what's going on? And he's like, babe, school just got out. Everybody's taking their first vacation. Calm down. Or, hey, it's the last week of July. Everybody's doing one last trip with their family. So that seasonality that we used to see pre-COVID is coming back. So we had a very busy spring. Right at the end of May, we saw about 2 weeks of quiet. 4th of July was very quiet. The last week of July was quiet, but this week we did start seeing more showings pop up. So that seasonality like we used to see 3 and 4 years ago is something I'm seeing on a regular basis. I wanted to kind of talk about the supply that we have. I broke it down into condos versus homes. And for the homes, I did it based on school zones. So currently, we have 20 properties for sale as of this video in the Verner school zone. The average of that is actually $890,000, so still a very high price point there. We do have 8 under $500,000, but what's interesting is that in this last 30 days, we've had 15 sell. We do have a little bit over a 1 month supply. So even though the rates are higher, homes are still selling, and we are almost at a balanced market depending on what or who you asked. For the Rock Quarry School Zone, we currently have 51 for sale, and that is because we have a lot of new construction in Lexington Downs, Neptune's Cove, High Grove, Stillwater. We have some townhomes for sale in Waterfall. So we're seeing a lot more of development because there's more space to develop in the Rock Quarry School Zone. We don't have as many under 500,000. We only have 6. So even though there are 51 for sale, very few are in that below 500 price point. So you can see we have the 51 active, but we've only had 17 sell in the last 30 days. So we are seeing those new construction properties taking longer to sell in the Rock Quarry School Zone. So now let's move kind of over to Northport and look at the Huntington School Zone as well as Vestavia. In the Huntington School Zone, there are currently 31 for sale. We have an average there of $433, $497, so a much more accessible price point. And typically, we do have some new construction in the Huntington School Zone, but we do have a lot of older homes as well. So we had 24 that sold in the last 30 days, so not too much over that 1 month supply in the Huntington School Zone. In Vestavia, it's a much smaller area. We currently have 17 for sale at an average of $278. However, we only had 6 sell in the last 30 days. So we are going to see a little bit longer for homes in the Vestavia school zone to take to sell. Some of just the overall stats that I personally found very comforting and very interesting. And this is comparing the June and July timeline of this year to last year's. Our average prices are up from $298,000, $631,000 from last year to $311,996, so almost $312,000 this year. You know, the homes are taking longer to sell, typically about 6 extra weeks on average, and that's including everything across the board, whether it's a rural area, condos, homes, new, old, all of that. So yes, they're taking a little bit longer to sell, but the prices have still increased. So our market is still strong, it is still steady, and it is still holding its own. Like I mentioned, inventory has been something that we've been dealing with for years. We just don't have a lot of options to show buyers. And so our inventory was down 73 properties from this time last summer. So let's really think about if we go in to see all of the homes in Rock Quarry, all of the homes in Verner, and all the homes in Vestavia just disappeared. That's how many less we have. So as those buyers come in, they're not typically able to be extremely picky, which it can be frustrating because like if they're looking in the Rock Quarry school zone and say they're looking in the 350 to 400 range, they may only have 4 to choose from. And so, you know, if we're not necessarily wanting to rush the buyer, but they know what the rate is now, they know what the market's doing now, and do they want to take the risk of inventory continuing to decline while rates continue to increase? Or are they going to make a change to one of the 4 that they do have? And so we are seeing more homes, like I mentioned, getting a contingency possibly to sell a home. We're not seeing as many appraisal gaps. We're seeing the seller pay more and more closing costs. So those are certainly more terms that are more friendly for buyers. Now that does not mean we don't see some multiple offers, but we're not seeing them across the board like we were at some points over the last few years. Wanted to give you just a quick stats about condos in case that is something that's on your radar. We had 33 sell in the last 30 days at an average of 337 to 12. Recently have had a few parents of UA students asking about properties. They are able still to find some below 200,000, whether it's at University Downs, Regency Oaks, Crossland, Harbrook Downs. So there are some options for those, and those also do make some great investment properties. We are starting to see some REOs come back on the market. REOs can be something whether they are a distressed property or foreclosure, but I have only been contacted by 3 of those companies since May. So relative to the number of listings and contacts I've had with sellers, it's a very, very slim. So we're still seeing prices increasing, but we're not seeing a ton of underwater sellers. Anyways, I hope y'all have had a great year so far. And if y'all have any questions about the market, I would love to chat with you about it, answer any questions you have, see how we can help grow and meet your real estate dreams. And also would just love to check in with everybody. Our kids go back to school next week in August, so I will have lots more free times to grab coffee with friends and clients as well as lunch, and would love to have some time to chat and catch up with you. So if you're interested, let me know when you're free and we will get something set up. Look forward to talking to you, and I hope this helps give you more information about what the market is in West Alabama.